I was the fake heiress who had been switched at birth into a wealthy family, and after the real heiress came back, I yielded to her in everything, until I realized that no matter what I did, the real heiress could always get double the benefits. The system told me that she had bound herself to the cheat ability, double rebound for the real heiress. If I scored a perfect grade, she would get a double intelligence bonus. If I lost 10 gene, she would lose 20 gene. Got it? You want to be twice as outstanding, huh? Looking at my increasingly haggard self in the mirror, the corners of my mouth curled up wildly. System, I want to do 2,000 squats every day to train a peachy butt. System, I want to drink 10 bowls of Chinese medicine every day to regulate my body. System, I want to donate half of my liver to someone in need, just a mere double, then let you experience the thrill of rhabdomyolysis, drug-induced liver damage, and being completely drained. I dug out that dusty tracksuit from the closet. In the mirror, I looked sallow, with dark circles under my eyes. This is the result of working day and night during this period to curry favor with the Lin family and avoid being kicked out. And Lin Wan, that real heiress, at this moment, she was sitting in the downstairs hall, enjoying everything that originally belonged to me. Her skin was rosy, her figure slender, and she held a bowl of bird's nest soup in her hand, smiling with an innocent, guileless expression. The system says she has the true heiress double rebound, golden finger. Whatever I do, she gets double the benefits. In that case, I take a deep breath and start doing squats. 1, 2, 3. The thigh muscles begin to ache, and lactic acid rapidly accumulates, but I didn't stop. What I'm doing isn't fitness, it's self-harm. I want to induce rhabdomyolysis. I want to fill my blood with myoglobin and clog the renal tubules. I don't believe her kidneys can handle double the rhabdomyolysis. By the 500th one, my legs had already started shaking, sweat dripped from my chin onto the floor, forming a small puddle. The door was pushed open. Lin Wan stood at the door, looking down at me from above. A flicker of mockery flashed in her eyes. Sister, still working out this late? Yeah, true, you really should work out a bit. Unlike me, no matter how much I eat, I never gain weight. As she said that, she even deliberately spun around, showing off the waistline that had become even more perfect thanks to my dieting. Panting hard, I ignored her. Keep squatting. 501st. Lin Wan let out a scoff. Save it. Some people are born to a life of toil. No matter how much they practice, they'll never turn into a swan. She didn't know. The moment she finished speaking, her expression changed slightly. She steadied herself against the doorframe, her brows knitting. The system alert sound was ringing wildly in my head, but I blocked it out. All I know is, my legs felt like they were filled with lead, and every step felt like someone was slicing into my muscles with a knife, but inside, I was over the moon. Does it hurt? The pain meant it was working. I suffer one part, you will suffer too. I have relentlessly completed these 1,000. The whole person collapsed to the ground, thigh muscles convulsing wildly, as if snakes were burrowing inside. I tried to stand up, but ended up kneeling directly on the ground. Suddenly, a scream came from downstairs. It was Lin Wan's voice. Immediately after came the sound of a heavy object hitting the floor, followed by the servants' cries of alarm. Second miss, what's wrong with you? Call an ambulance, now. Second miss can't move her legs. I lay on the cold floor, forcing a difficult curve at the corner of my mouth. Lin Wan, this was just the appetizer, double rhabdomyolysis. Pretty tasty, isn't it? I struggled to crawl toward the door, wanting to see for myself, to see what a sorry state that golden-fingered, heaven-favored girl was in now. Dragging my 2 useless legs, I inched my way to the top of the stairs. There, I saw Lin Wan collapsed in the middle of the hall, clutching her thighs tightly, her silk pajamas soaked through with cold sweat. She writhed on the floor in pain, letting out pig slaughter-like screams. My leg hurts so much, it feels like it's about to break. Her parents crowded around her, pacing anxiously in circles. Wan, what's wrong? Don't scare mommy. Hurry, get the car ready, to the hospital. I leaned against the railing, watching this scene unfold without a single ripple of emotion in my heart. I even felt a bit like laughing at that moment. Lin Wan spotted me upstairs. Her eyes were filled with resentment and confusion. It's you. It must be you who harmed me. She pointed at me, her finger trembling. I looked innocent and weakly pointed to my own leg, which was still twitching. Wan, what are you talking about? I just finished exercising too, and my leg hurts terribly. Maybe it's because we sisters are connected at heart, and I have a sense of it. What the hell kind of sisterly connection is that? What I want is for you to meet your end. The hospital was in complete chaos. The emergency room doctor looked at the test results, his brow furrowed deeply. The creatine kinase level is alarmingly high. This is a classic case of rhabdomyolysis, and it's severe. If you had arrived any later, it could have led to acute kidney failure." The doctor looked at Lin Wan with an expression of disbelief. "Young lady, how much exercise did you do? Even running a marathon isn't this extreme." Lin Wan lay on the hospital bed, her face pale with pain, too weak to even speak. She shook her head tearfully. I didn't exercise at all." My mother stood by, her heart aching so much that tears streamed down her face, and she immediately turned to yell at me. "Lin Mian, did you give your sister something strange to eat? She was sitting at home just fine. How could this happen all of a sudden?" I sat in my wheelchair, holding my lab report. My creatine kinase was also high, but only half of Lin Wan's. I handed the list to the doctor. "Doctor, I also did 2,000 squats, and I'm feeling terrible too." The doctor looked at my list, then at Lin Wan's. "Strange, your numbers are also high, but they're still within a manageable range. Your sister, it's as if she did 4,000 squats, and her muscles have dissolved into mush." Lin Wan suddenly looked up at me. Her eyes were filled with terror. She probably guessed something. "The golden finger the system gave her is double the benefits. I exercise, and her figure improves. I study, and her intelligence increases. What if I self-harm? She will have to bear double the damage." Didn't the system tell her about this backlash? Looks like it's a half-baked system. I gave her a slight smile and mouthed silently, surprised. Lin Wan shuddered all over and pointed at me, screaming, "It was you did it on purpose. Dad, Mom, she's trying to kill me, she's a monster." My dad frowned and snapped, "What nonsense are you talking? Your sister's legs have already been ruined from training. How could she hurt you? It's you who never listens when I tell you to exercise more. With such poor physical fitness, you can't handle even a little bit of a reaction. Look, this is favoritism." Even when the facts are right in front of them, they will automatically come up with a reasonable explanation. Lin Wan was left speechless. She can't possibly say that she's bound to a system that can suck my blood, can she? That would just make her seem like a lunatic. I sneered inwardly. This is nothing yet, since she's already in the hospital. That's perfect, it makes it easier for me to carry out the next step of my plan. The doctor prescribed a large amount of intravenous fluids for Lin Wan, instructing her to drink plenty of water and urinate frequently to prevent kidney failure. I was also assigned to the next bed for an 4 drip, watching Lin Wan suffer as the nurse attempted to insert the needle. It took several tries due to collapsed veins before it finally went in. She cried out in pain, wailing loudly. I, however, find this sound to be like heavenly music. Late at night, the hospital room was quiet. Lin Wan was asleep, her brow furrowed, clearly still in pain. I pulled out the needle from my hand. I quietly walked to her bedside. Moonlight fell on her pale face. I remembered my previous life. After the real heiress returned, I gave way to her in everything, giving up my room and my fiancé to her. I tried so hard to please everyone, only to be driven out of my home and die a miserable death on the streets. And she, stepping over my bones, became the perfect goddess praised by all. This life, I'm done bearing with it. I picked up the water glass on the bedside table. It was the soda water the doctor had instructed her to drink, meant to alkalize her urine. I drank that glass of water right in front of her, then I poured another glass and continued drinking. I just sat there by her bedside, drinking glass after glass of water. I drank until my stomach felt bloated, until I felt like throwing up, but I'm still drinking. I'm going to get water intoxication. I'm going to dilute the electrolytes in my blood. I'm going to get cerebral edema, double the water intoxication. Lin Wan, can your brain handle it? Early the next morning, Lin Wan was awakened by a headache, a severe headache, accompanied by nausea and vomiting. She clutched her head and rolled around on the bed, vomiting all the fluids she had been given the night before. The doctor rushed over to examine him. Hyponatremia, in other words, what's commonly known as water intoxication. What happened? Didn't I tell you to drink water in moderation? How did you end up like this? The doctor looked at the electrolyte report, completely baffled. The sodium ion concentration is so low it could cause brain herniation. Lin Wan weakly defended herself. I didn't drink that much. She really hadn't. The one who drank the water is me. I lay on the bed next door, also showing symptoms of dizziness and nausea, but I controlled the amount. I only had mild hyponatremia, uncomfortable, but not fatal, and Lin Wan, due to the double effect, is now at risk of cerebral edema. My parents watched Lin Wan in agony, their hearts aching as if cut by a knife. They immediately turned their anger on me. Lin Mian, your sister is in this state, and you're just standing there pretending to be dead. Go pour some water for your sister. No, forget the water, go buy some salty porridge. I forced down the dizziness and nodded obediently. Okay, Mom, I'll go right away. I slowly got to my feet. As I passed by Lin Wan's bedside, I saw the look in her eyes as she stared at me, fear, deep fear. She finally realized that between her and me, a terrifying link had been established. As long as I courted death, she would die even faster. She grabbed my wrist, her nails digging into my flesh. Lin Mian, stop, please. Her voice was faint, choked with tears. I leaned close to her ear and whispered, stop, the game has just begun. I heard traditional Chinese medicine is great for regulating the body, so I specifically sought out an experienced practitioner and got a prescription, aconite, monkshood, nux vomica, all good stuff. I'm going to drink 10 bowls a day to nourish myself. Lin Wan's pupils dilated instantly. These medicinal herbs, if they aren't processed strictly and the dosage controlled, they're highly toxic. I have the pain-blocking function provided by the system, though I didn't enable it, but I have the resolve to take that gamble. I bet if I drink this, I'll just have an arrhythmia, but she would go straight into cardiac arrest. Lin Wan has gone mad. She frantically pressed the call button by the bed. Doctor, help, she's trying to kill me, she's trying to poison me. The doctor and nurses rushed in, thinking she was hallucinating. Miss Lin, calm down, that's your sister, how could she be trying to kill you? Looks like cerebral edema has affected her nervous system. Hurry, push hypertonic saline. Lin Wan was held down on the bed, staring at me in despair. I walked out of the ward and turned to go to the hospital's traditional Chinese medicine pharmacy. I really went to get the medicine, of course. I'm not foolish enough to drink poison directly. What I got was bitter and cold medicine, Coptis chinensis, Gentiana scabra, Sephora flavescens, extremely bitter, harmful to the stomach, harmful to the spleen. I am going to ruin my own stomach. I want to have diarrhea 10 times a day. Lin Wan, are you ready to experience double the stomach cramps and dehydration? Back in the hospital room, in front of everyone, I picked up that bowl of black, foul-smelling medicinal broth that gave off a nauseating bitter odor. Mom, seeing my younger sister so sick, I also want to take care of my body. I don't want to be a burden to the family. My mother waved her hand impatiently. Drink it. Drink it, don't stand there being an eyesore. I tipped my head back and gulped it down in one breath. Bitter, so bitter it felt like my soul had left my body. My stomach instantly churned violently. The next second, Lin Wan on the bed suddenly widened her eyes and clutched her stomach. Ugh, what she vomited out was not water, but bile. Her face instantly turned the color of pig liver, and her whole body curled up like a shrimp. It hurts, my stomach hurts so much, it feels like someone has torn my intestines apart. I put down the empty bowl and wiped the medication residue from the corners of my mouth, watching her look worse than death. This bowl of medicine was truly sweet. Lin Wan was tormented to the brink of death. The doctor gave her a full examination, and apart from an electrolyte imbalance and acute gastroenteritis, they couldn't find any organic lesions. In the end, it could only be attributed to her special constitution and excessive stress. To take care of her, her parents directly booked a luxury suite at the hospital. I also got to stay there thanks to her. After all, I'm an obedient older sister. If you drive me away at a time like this, it won't sound good if word gets out. Late at night, Lin Wan was hooked up to N4 and had finally managed to fall asleep. I sat on the sofa, took out my phone, and downloaded several of the most mentally draining horror games. I also ordered an extra strong Americano. I'm going to stay up all night. I'm going to cultivate immortality. I'm going to go 3 days and 3 nights without sleeping. I don't believe it. Double sleep deprivation. Can her nerves take it? The first night, I played games in high spirits. Lin Wan began to turn uneasily in her sleep, muttering nonsense. She seemed to have fallen into some kind of deep nightmare. Although the double dose of fatigue couldn't stop her from sleeping outright, it could drive the quality of her sleep below zero. Even when she was asleep, her brain remained in an extremely active, overloaded state. Early the next morning, with 2 huge dark circles under my eyes, I felt a little dazed. When Lin Wan woke up, it felt as if she had been beaten up. Sunken eye sockets, a vacant stare. Mom, I'm so tired, it feels like I've been running all night. My mom stroked her head with concern. How could that be? You slept for more than 10 hours. Is the bed uncomfortable? I'll have someone replace it with an imported mattress. I took a sip of iced Americano and said quietly from the side, little sister, you really don't know how lucky you are. I've been worried about your condition and couldn't sleep all night. Lin Wan suddenly turned to look at me. She saw the coffee in my hand and my bloodshot eyes. She understood. She was trembling. You're staying up all night? I smiled. Yeah, I'm praying for my younger sister. The next 2 days, I was practically risking my life. I don't sleep. I only drink coffee and Red Bull. My heart was pounding wildly. My temples throbbed with pain, and double images started to appear before my eyes, but I was thrilled, because Lin Wan was in a state 10 times worse than mine. She started having hallucinations. She pointed at the air and screamed, "There's a ghost is grabbing me." She lost control of her emotions and even grabbed a pillow and threw it at my mom. "Get away, you all want to hurt me." The doctor said this was delirium caused by severe neurasthenia, but I knew this was a double mental breakdown. On the third night, I felt like I was about to die suddenly. My heart felt as if it were about to leap out of my chest, but I glanced at the data on the monitor. Lin Wan's heart rate had already shot up to 160. She was convulsing on the bed, foam at the mouth. The system finally panicked. That cold mechanical voice rang out in my mind, carrying a faint crackle of static. "Host, please stop the self-harm behavior. Detected that the bound subject's vital signs are extremely unstable and is about to face a risk of death." I smiled. "So you can talk to me too," I replied coldly in my heart. "What? Can't handle it anymore? Weren't you pretty arrogant when you first bound to me? Please stop immediately, host, otherwise, the system will take compulsory measures, coercive measures. Go ahead and try. If you dare lay a hand on me, I'll dare slit my wrists right away. If I die, she dies twice over. Let's all go down together." The system fell silent. It was thrown off by my reckless, life-risking fighting style. It had probably never seen a host who would push itself to the brink of death just to kill its opponent. At that moment, the ward door was pushed open. A familiar figure walked in. "It's Gu Yen, my fiancé." No, now he's Lin Wan's lapdog. He was holding a bouquet of flowers, originally here to see Lin Wan, but as soon as he entered the room, he saw Lin Wan tied to the bed, disheveled, with a twisted mouth and slanted eyes, looking like a madwoman. And me, though haggard, she sat quietly by the window, holding a book in her hands. There was a kind of broken beauty to her. Gu Yen froze. He looked at Lin Wan, a trace of disgust flashing in his eyes. Then, he turned his gaze to me. "Mian Mian, why are you here too?" I looked up, my eyes filled with sorrow. "Brother Gu Yen, you're here to see your sister, right? She's very sick. Don't look down on her." I shouldn't have said anything. As soon as I did, Lin Wan suddenly let out a strange cry and soiled herself. She lost control of her bladder and bowels, double the sphincter relaxation. The entire ward was instantly filled with a foul stench. Gu Yen covered his nose and retreated 3 steps in a row. At that moment, I saw the disgust in his eyes, something that couldn't be faked. Gu Yen fled in panic. Even the flowers were thrown beside the trash can. After Lin Wan regained consciousness and learned that she had lost control of her bladder in front of Gu Yen, she completely broke down. She cried her heart out, even wanting to bang her head against the wall. My parents finally managed to calm her down. My mother pulled me into the hallway and immediately started scolding me. "Lin Mian, are you a jinx reincarnated? Ever since you came back, this house has been in chaos. If your sister doesn't get better, you won't have it easy either." I lowered my head, appearing to accept it without resistance, but in my heart, I was already calculating a new plan. Besides Gu Yen, what Lin Wan cared about most was her face. She spends several hours on skincare every day, and even a small pimple can make her scream for half the day. In that case, I touched my somewhat rough cheek. "Lately, staying up late has really taken a toll on my skin. It's time to get some medical aesthetics done." I took advantage of my parents' absence and sneaked out of the hospital. I went to an unlicensed small beauty salon. "I want to get a chemical peel," I said to the beautician. "The concentration needs to be the highest." The beautician was startled. "Miss, the highest concentration can burn your skin, even disfigure you." I pulled a stack of cash from my bag and slapped it on the table. "I'm willing. If anything happens, you won't be held responsible, but I have one condition. After this, I want to do microneedling too, the thickest kind." The esthetician looked at me as if I were crazy, but for the money, she went ahead with it anyway. High concentration glycolic acid was applied to my face, stinging. It felt like countless fire ants were gnawing at my skin, but I held back. I even asked the beautician to stay a few minutes longer. I imagined Lin Wan's face at that moment. Double chemical burns. Her face should be badly ruined by now. Right after the glycolic acid treatment, my face swelled up and turned red like a pig's head, even oozing blood. Then came the microneedling. The wheel rolls over the face, piercing the skin. I tremble all over in pain, tears streaming uncontrollably, but inside, I am laughing maniacally. "Lin Wan, your face must be a bloody mess by now, right?" I put on my mask and sunglasses and returned to the hospital. As soon as I reached the door of the ward, I heard screams coming from inside. it was even more agonizing than the sound of a pig being slaughtered. My face hurts so much, it's burning, help, a mirror, give me a mirror. I pushed open the door. Lin Wan was seen clutching her face and rolling on the bed. The doctor was trying to pull her hands away. The moment her hands were removed, the entire venue fell into dead silence. That could no longer be called a face, it was swollen, festering, with large patches of skin peeling off, revealing the bright red dermis. It looked as if sulfuric acid had been splashed on it. My mother was so frightened that she fainted on the spot. The water cup in my dad's hand fell to the ground and shattered into pieces. What's going on? The doctor also panicked. This is a severe chemical burn, or an extremely serious allergic reaction. Hurry, take him to the burn unit. I stood in the corner and took off my sunglasses, although my face was also red, swollen, and unsightly. It looked like a fairy next to Lin Wan's ruined face. It was simply heavenly. Lin Wan saw me through the gaps between her fingers. She saw the unnatural redness and swelling on my face. She understood. She let out a desperate roar, wanting to charge over and tear me apart. Lin Mian, you lunatic, you ruined my face. I'll kill you. What a pity. As soon as she got out of bed, her legs gave way. The rhabdomyolysis hadn't fully healed yet, and she fell face first onto the floor. With a sharp smack, that ugly face made intimate contact with the ground. I heard the sound of flesh sticking to the floor. Tch, it sounded painful just hearing it. I walked over, pretending to help her up, say in a voice only the two of us can hear, little sister, and you can't take this already. I was even planning to get liposuction, the kind without anesthesia. Lin Wan's body froze. She lay on the ground, tears mingling with blood and pooling across the floor. Sis, I was wrong. I'll give Gu Yen back to you, give mom and dad back to you, please, let me go. I looked down at her from above, as if looking at a dead dog. Too late. What belongs to me, I will take back myself. As for you, go to hell and repent. Lin Wan was completely ruined. Her face was ruined, her body had collapsed, and her mind was on the verge of breakdown, but her damn system is still there. As long as I don't die, she still has a chance to turn things around. Moreover, the Lin family is wealthy. As long as there's money, she can get plastic surgery, a kidney transplant, and extend her life, to save this precious daughter he cherished above all else. My dad began pulling every string he had. He even started scheming around me. That day, my dad called me into the study. He looked at me, his expression complicated. There was no guilt, only calculation. Mian, you've seen it yourself. Wan is in this state now. The doctor said her liver and kidney functions are failing, and she needs a transplant. You're her sister, so you're definitely the most suitable match. My heart turned ice cold, though I had anticipated it. Hearing it with my own ears still felt ironic. This is my biological father. In his eyes, I am nothing more than a backup organ bank. I pretended to be scared, trembling uncontrollably. Dad, are you asking me to donate a kidney to my sister? But I'm scared of the pain. My father's face darkened. What's there to be afraid of? Medical technology is so advanced these days. Losing a kidney won't kill you. Our Lin family has raised you for so long. Now it's time for you to repay us. As long as you agree, I'll give you 10 million and send you abroad to live a good life. 10 million, buy one of my kidneys, half of my liver. What a way to treat a beggar. I lowered my head to hide the madness in my eyes. Okay, I agree. My father was overjoyed. Really, good child. Dad knew you were the most sensible. I know how to send you to the afterlife. The surgery is scheduled for 3 days later. During these 3 days, I was well fed and taken care of. Lin Wan lay in the sterile ward, covered in tubes. She knew I was going to donate my liver and kidneys to her, and a hint of smugness flashed in her eyes. Even though she is now neither human nor ghost, she still feels she has won, because she believes that as long as she gets the organ transplant, she can survive, and I will become a cripple. Unfortunately, she forgot about that fatal bug. The night before the surgery, I signed that thick stack of consent forms. Then, I made a decision. I was going to play a big game on the operating table. The day of the surgery, I was wheeled into the operating room. The anesthesiologist was preparing to administer the anesthesia. Suddenly, I grabbed his hand. Doctor, I'm allergic to anesthetics. Can you give me a smaller dose? The doctor paused for a moment. Allergic? The previous checkup didn't mention that. I had it once when I was a child and almost died. I lied without blushing or my heart racing. Just a little sedative will do. I can endure it. Although the doctor felt it was inappropriate, He still reduced the dosage at my insistence. This means that during the surgery, I will feel pain, severe pain. The surgery began, the cold scalpel cut through my skin. In that instant, a wave of pain surged over me. I gritted my teeth, and cold sweat instantly soaked through my surgical gown, but I didn't cry out. I said to myself, Lin Wan, enjoy it while you can. The double agony of being gutted. The operating room next door, Lin Wan, who was undergoing recipient preparation, suddenly let out a shrill scream. Even under general anesthesia, her body also began to convulse violently. The monitoring equipment started blaring alarms frantically. Patient's blood pressure is dropping sharply. Arrhythmia. What's going on? Has the anesthesia worn off? The lead surgeon panicked. Quick, increase the anesthetic dose. But it was useless. This was a pain link from the deepest depths of the soul. The physical anesthesia simply couldn't hold it down. Just as the doctors were in a panic on my side, the doctor was preparing to remove part of my liver. I suddenly opened my eyes. Ignoring the intense pain from the wound, I grabbed the hemostat beside me. I plunged it directly into my own wound, gave it a fierce twist. Blood gushed out. The doctors and nurses were all stunned. He's gone mad. The patient has gone mad. Stop the bleeding. Stop the bleeding quickly. The pain was so intense that my vision went dark, but I burst out laughing. Double the internal organ rupture, double the massive hemorrhage. Lin Wan, this time, let's see how you survive. A dull thud came from the operating room next door. It sounded like a watermelon bursting, followed by the doctor's desperate cry. The patient's liver has ruptured. Massive bleeding. It won't stop. It just won't stop. The heart has stopped. Defibrillator. Now, before my consciousness faded, I heard the final wail from the system's mechanical voice. Host, you are a madman. And then, complete silence. I didn't die. The rescue was timely, and I hadn't injured a vital artery. I lay in the ICU for 3 days. When I woke up, only the caregiver was by my side. My parents weren't there. Gu Yen wasn't there either. They were all busy arranging Lin Wan's funeral. Yes, Lin Wan is dead. She died on the operating table. Double liver rupture. Double massive hemorrhage. Not even a god could save her. I heard that when she died, blood flowed from all 7 orifices, and her death was extremely gruesome. Even the mortician had to put in a great deal of effort to properly apply her makeup. I lay on the hospital bed, staring at the ceiling. My heart felt empty. There was no imagined ecstasy, only a weariness that came after a great vengeance had been fulfilled. But I knew it wasn't over yet. Lin Wan was dead, but the Lin family remained. Those biased parents would surely pin all the blame on me. Indeed, my first day after being transferred to the general ward, my mom rushed in. Her hair was disheveled, her eyes bloodshot, like a vengeful ghost. Lin Mian, give me back my daughter, you murderer, you killed Wan Wan. She lunged at me and tried to strangle me. I had just undergone surgery and was too weak to fight back at all. A suffocating sensation surged over me. I looked at her ferocious face, a tear sliding down from the corner of my eye. Mom, why? I am your daughter too. I almost lost my life trying to save my sister. Why are you treating me like this? At this moment, I employed advanced emotional manipulation. First, show weakness, then make accusations. The doorway was crowded with doctors, nurses, and patients watching the commotion. What everyone sees is a frail daughter who has just donated part of her liver and narrowly escaped death. She was being strangled by her own mother, who intended to kill her. Public opinion exploded instantly. Is this mother insane? Just saved the daughter, and now you want to strangle her? How cruel. Is this really her own mother? Several male doctors rushed in and forcibly pulled my mother away. My mother was still hysterical. Let go of me. She's a devil. She's using witchcraft. Wan Wan was cursed to death by her. No one believed her. Everyone thought she had gone mad from excessive shock. My father stood at the door, his face so dark it seemed as if water could drip from it. He looked at me, his eyes filled with scrutiny and suspicion. He is more rational than my mother, he sensed that something was wrong. Why is it that every time I get hurt, Lin Wan gets hurt twice as much? But he had no evidence, and besides, public opinion is now very unfavorable to him. If he makes another move against me, the stock price of the Lin Group will hit the limit down. So, he walked in and slapped my mom hard across the face. Enough, stop embarrassing yourself here. Wan Wan is already gone. Do you want to drive your only daughter to death too? My mom was stunned by the slap. She covered her face, looking at my dad in disbelief. You hit me, you actually hit me for this jinx. My father ignored her and turned to look at me. He put on a kind fatherly expression, but that smile was uglier than crying. Mian Mian, your mother is just overwhelmed with grief. Don't blame her, focus on recovering well. Dad will make it up to you. I stared at his hypocritical face. A cold laugh echoed in my heart. Compensation. The compensation I want is the entire Lin family. After Lin Wan's death, I became the sole heir of the Lin family. How ironic, the fake daughter they once discarded like worthless trash has now become their only hope. My father started taking me to the company to teach me how to do business. He tried to mold me into the next Lin Wan. I behaved obediently and learned quickly, but secretly, I was gathering evidence of tax evasion, bribery, and corruption within the Lin group. I will make this filthy family completely perish. Gu Yan has